News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Well, Karen, we begin with ramped up political pressure on the Federal Reserve. President Trump is calling on Fed Governor Lisa Cook to resign. The president posted the demand on Truth Social after his head of housing finance, Bill Pulte, urged the Justice Department to investigate Cook for alleged mortgage fraud. Cook is pushing back, issuing a statement reading, quote, "I have no intention of being bullied to step down from my position because of some questions raised in a tweet," end quote. But Pulte says the president has reason to fire Cook for cause.
I mean, this is supposed to be somebody who's entrusted with the public good, who's supposed to be looking after interest rates. And I believe it's blatant and massive mortgage fraud. I believe that there will be a criminal investigation.
Federal Housing Finance Agency Chief Bill Pulte spoke on Fox News. It's unclear if Attorney General Pam Bondi will investigate Cook, but if she were to step down, it would pave the way for President Trump to secure a majority on the 7-member Fed Board of Governors.
Well, Nathan, the Cook controversy comes as the Fed's annual economic policy symposium kicks off in Jackson Hole. The highlight comes tomorrow when Fed Chair Jake Powell gives remarks. Tom Keene is leading our coverage in Jackson Hole.
You look at the weather in Jackson Hole, you see the temperature variation in the 40s at night and then up into the 80s during that perfect August day. What we know is the sun rises on Jackson Hole, a 2-day meeting here in Wyoming. But then for Chairman Powell, is this where the sun sets? It's an interesting body language here. I love what Jana Randau and all did in Europe, where they talked about the other central bankers rallying for Chairman Powell. Christine Lagarde will be there from the ECB. And from the Bank of England, the Governor Bailey will be there as well. There'll be the academics, but maybe more than in 15 years. This will be less about the academics and the papers and much more about the future of the Fed.
And Tom Keene will head Bloomberg Radio's Jackson Hole coverage. It all finishes up with a special edition of Bloomberg Surveillance tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern with Tom, Mike McKee, and Lisa Abramowitz. Plus, watch for special episodes of the Odd Lots podcast. Joe Weisenthal and Tracy Alloway will be taping several conversations from the event as well.
Well, heading into the event, Karen, most Federal Reserve officials highlighted the risk to inflation as outweighing concerns over the labor market at their latest meeting last month. Here's Bloomberg U.S. economist Stuart Paul.
As we read through the minutes and as we think about the data that we've seen, everything basically points to an incremental move toward monetary policy getting a little bit less restrictive and a little bit of additional comfort in the balance of risk shifting towards cooling employment. And I think that Powell is going to need to acknowledge that.
That was Bloomberg U.S. economist Stuart Paul. The Fed did keep interest rates unchanged last month. Governors Christopher Waller and Michelle Bowman voted against that decision.
Well, Nathan, we want to turn to the equity markets now, where futures are lower after another day of losses on Wall Street. And once again, it was tech stocks leading the way lower. Bloomberg's John Tucker joins us with the latest. John, good morning.
And good morning, Karen. The NASDAQ fell for a second consecutive session. The S&P 500 stretched its pullback to a fourth straight day from record highs. A renewed slide in big tech and signs that inflation remains the predominant concern of the Fed weighed on trading yesterday. And Oaktree Capital Management co-founder Howard Marks says stocks may be in the early days of a bubble.
No reason to think there'll be a correction soon, but the point is that things are expensive. They may go on to become more expensive, but the fact that they're expensive, it should not be lost.
Well, near the end of yesterday's session, stocks did rebound from session lows. The S&P 500 was down just 0.2%, with most of the major groups advancing. All the mega caps fell, but they also trimmed some of their losses. The NASDAQ 100 closed down 0.6%. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, John, thank you. One of the hardest hit stocks during the recent tech sell-off has been Palantir. It's a 6-session losing streak, has wiped out $73 billion in market value. That's handed a rare win to short sellers, more than $1.6 billion in profits for them, according to data from S3 Partners. Though that does barely dent the $4.5 billion in paper losses the traders have put up betting against Palantir this year. Despite recent losses, the stock remains the S&P 500's best performer after soaring 106%.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.